Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lydia Agbarucha. Today, I am delighted to host a special guest. His name is Mr. Paul Ogeneremu Akpasi. He's a French teacher and also an author. He wrote many books in French language, such as Speaking French at Six, How, The Teacher's Guide. Today, he's here to introduce to us his latest book. Le Français par cœur is written by Mr. Paul Akpasi. This book will be the center of our discussion today. Yes, it is a book that is designed for junior school students and that are learning French language. Good afternoon, Mr. Paul.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
OK. Alors, chers auditeurs et auditrices, merci beaucoup de nous rejoindre. Aujourd'hui, j'ai l'honneur de vous présenter Monsieur Paul Akpasi Ogeneremu. Il est un écrivain et aussi un enseignant de français. J'ai l'honneur de vous présenter Monsieur Paul Akpasi. Il a écrit plusieurs livres en français, à savoir Speaking French at Six, How et The Teacher's Guide. Aujourd'hui, il fait le lancement de son livre Le Français par cœur, qui est écrit en français et est spécialement pour les élèves de GS1 à GS3. Alors, merci de rester avec nous. Monsieur Paul, salut, ça va?
Oui, ça va, merci.
OK. Congratulations for this big achievement.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much for coming here.
All right.
Okay, I have a question for you before you start. Tell us, why did you choose to learn French language in university?
Okay. Actually, in the beginning, I did not choose French as a course. I
Okay.
wanted to study philosophy.
Wow.
Yes. But along the line, I found myself in the French department. So I didn't pick interest initially.
Okay.
But when I started seeing my GP, I changed my mind.
Oh.
I said, at least for the sake of my grades,
Okay.
I started to make efforts, attend classes, and, I started some personal studies, and that was how the whole thing started.
This is wonderful. Okay, now tell me, how was it? I want to tell us your challenges. Where did you start from when you were learning this language? Because I believe there are many people outside there that are learning this language. And you said you didn't even have interest in French language. And this is you today that has become a writer in French language. So I want you to tell us the method you used while learning French language and how were you able to overcome them?
Okay, the main challenge I had then was, just as I said, lack of interest. And
Okay.
I was not to be blamed because even from my secondary school days, French was one of the subjects I used to overlook.
Okay.
And most people believe that we need to pay more attention to other subjects such as maths, English, and so on. So French was a language that I didn't pay attention to. So that was the first challenge I had, lack of interest. So how was I able to overcome it? With time, I discovered that it is more than just a university course.
Wow.
It is a language that is meant to be used, spoken by real people, such as people in France, Belgium, and so many other French-speaking countries. So I decided to adopt the language as my second language, and I just began to listen to French music, watch French movies, and I started meeting up with French people, and the whole thing just started to flow.
Wow.
And then guess what? It started to have a positive impact on my academics.
Wow. This is very wonderful. Now, let's dive into the story, the inspiration behind it, and how young learners can benefit from reading it. So, if you are a French, a parent, a teachers, or someone that is passionate about French language, stay with us. This conversation is for you. Okay, Mr. Paul, I want you now to tell us what inspired you to write this book?
So what actually inspired me was when I started teaching. I was, let me use the word disappointed with the qualities.
Disappointed?
Yeah, the quality of the books I met was not so good enough. The first thing that came to me as a shock was the fact that we could not access audio files. We had books without sounds.
Okay.
So, which I felt, how would the children understand the language? Because they need to listen, actually. They need to listen. That was the first challenge. Then, and also I noticed the structure of some French textbooks. The books were not well structured. So that's made my teaching difficult.
Yeah.
So I had to do something about it. So that was where it all started.
Wow, this is very wonderful. Okay, now I want you to tell us the book Le Français is from GS1 to GS3. Why did you choose to write this book for junior school students?
Okay, the reason why I choose to write the book for junior school is because that is where real learning takes place for French. In primary school, you notice some students will say, "Oh, I did not do French," or "My teacher," there's one complaint or the other. But once they get to GSS1, in most cases, they now have to take French.
Yeah.
So GSS1 to 3 is like the main period where they have to learn French. Because don't forget, when they get to SS1, some will drop.
Of course.
So that is where most of the knowledge comes from. And the reason why I decided to combine all the classes is because I noticed when they get to GSS2 or GSS3, they forget what they have learned in GSS1, which is not good. Because, the learning of French language or languages in general is like you're stacking up. You're stacking up your knowledge. So the problem is when they forget the topics from GSS1, there's a big problem because, for instance, alphabet.
Okay.
The alphabet is one of the concepts in GSS1. So does that mean they don't need to spell in GSS2 and GSS3? So I just decided to put everything in a book. So as soon as the teacher noticed that they forgotten a particular concept, he or she can easily direct them back to that page, and they can just quickly brush through it, then continue with the lesson.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for this great achievement of yours. So my next question will be, how does this book help children, to learn in a fun way?
Okay, this book comes with a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And there are so many interesting songs there. So many fun. In fact, we also have the karaoke videos. So these are ways to make the class fun. So it does not just have to be grammar all the time. So once in a while, I say, okay, guys, let's sing. Then in the process, they are learning to pronounce words. They are learning new words. So that is one way. And the second way is the workbook. The workbook was structured in a very fun way. The exercises will remind you of the verbal reasoning concept. And, something that will not make the language look too serious. Then we have assignments such as maybe just to read. I made it not too strict for them to learn.
This is very nice. Actually, when I went through this book, I discovered that it has the 4 skills of a language, which is listening, writing, listening, and reading.
Yes.
Okay, so I want us to take a break to see the structure of this book. We'll be right back. you for watching. We continue with the question that I have to Mr. Paul. I hope you're not getting tired, Mr. Paul.
No, it's good. I'm fine.
Sure?
Yeah.
So can I continue?
Yes, you can.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Okay, now, Mr. Paul, I want you to tell us how can teachers, parents, and anyone that has passion for French language can improve his French with this book.
Okay. The first way to improve one's French using the book is the book is a bilingual book.
Wow.
So the lessons are explained in a very simple English.
Okay.
So the English is there for you to learn.
Okay.
Then you now put that knowledge into practice. You now read, you write, you speak, you listen. The same concept, but you now have to put them into practice. So, and the book is meant to take learners from the A1 level to the B1 level.
So it means that it's not even only a student from GS1, okay, that can use this book. Anyone, adult that is interested about this book can make use of the book.
Yes, anyone can actually use the book, including university students.
Yes.
So the one problem that I try to solve is, when we learn French from JSS1 to JSS3, and most people drop it at that point, then maybe for some reason they find themselves in university taking it as a course or as a general course. So I try to bridge that gap. So once you learn French from JSS1 to JSS3,
okay,
and you get to the university level, using this book, you would not really feel that there's a gap between it because of the way it's structured. It covers all the topics that one needs to get to the B1 level.
Wow.
So even if you're to study French, you would be on your own, or even as a course, you will not be stranded.
Wow.
You can just easily, fit in.
Wow, this is okay. So for more clarification, let's take a break to see one lesson from this book.
Okay.
So thank you for watching. We'll be right back.
Diagraphs are combinations of letters that represent a single sound. In this lesson, we will explore the most important French diagraphs. We will also learn to pronounce French words. OU makes the sound OU in the words nous, goût, ou, coup. OI makes the sound wa in the words noir, choix, loi. How to pronounce this word? Step 1. Identify the diagraphs. Ou, wa. Step 2. Break the word into syllables. Pour, voir. AI and EI make the sound eh in the words mais, 13. AU make the sound O in the words l'eau, gauche, faux. ER, ET, and EZ make the sound E in the words parler, et, ne, ou, wa, e, o, e.
Okay, now, Mr. Paul, one book, okay, for 3 classes. I guess it wasn't an easy journey. What was your journey to getting this book published like?
Okay, just as you said, it wasn't easy because aligning the book with the scheme I make use of the Lagos State scheme
Okay.
way of work for French. Let's consider the amount of lessons first. JSS1 week 1, week 2, week 3, down to week 10. That's JSS1 first term. Then second term, and I had to develop these topics. I have to present them in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
In fact, at some point, I had to learn graphics design to get it done because
Wow.
I needed the images to be in a particular way. So it was really, really, really challenging. Another challenge, apart from the structure of the book, was that I also had to come up with creative ways to evaluate the knowledge of the students after each lesson.
Yeah.
So it's writing the book has I've gone through so many stages that has also helped me as a teacher because I had to simplify these topics to their level. Then I also had to study other books. I got a lot of books, even from other countries. I took my time to study the pattern. I compared it with the Nigerian textbooks. Then I came up with a structure that would suit our learning style and a structure that I'm very sure the students will also appreciate. So it was very, very challenging. But we thank God the book is here now.
Actually, I was going to ask you what makes your book different from others books that we have in Nigeria. You know, we have numerous books in Nigeria.
That's true.
So when I go to a library to buy a French book for my kids, so why should I pick your book and not others' book?
Okay. The first thing that makes Français par cœur to stand out is the book has sounds.
Yes.
We have songs, we have exercises for listening. Then the book is well structured. We have the lessons first. Then after the lessons, we have reading. The students will read. Then we have reading comprehension. They will read and answer questions. Then we have speaking. So after speaking, we now have writing. After writing, then they will translate.
Wow, the 4 skills are there.
Yes, then they would now answer the multiple choice questions.
Yes.
So I ensure that we don't skip any part of the learning process. So they get to go through everything. And also, this is the recommendation. 45 minutes to teach. 45 minutes to teach, yes, in schools. And the average time the teacher spends with the students, let's say 2 times, we teach twice a week.
Yeah.
I did the book in that.
Wow.
Yes, I did the book to align with that style. So this is how it works. First class, the first class, you go back to the lessons. You study the lessons that you will be needing for that topic. So after studying the lessons, let's say you spend 25 minutes on that. The remaining 20 minutes will be on the topic for that week, knowing quite well that they understand the lessons before you treat the topic. So when you do that, you are sure that they know the topic, they've understood it. Now, second class, you don't need to teach. All you need to do is to practice.
Wow.
So if at all there will be need for you to talk about what you've taught, it is maybe when they make mistake.
Wow.
You say, "Oh, can you remember, guys, last week we did this. Yes, we are still teaching, but you don't know how to write and begin to give them notes and all that. In fact, the notes are in the book.
Wow.
Yes, because one of my objectives is to reduce the amount of time we spend talking. The language is meant to be practiced.
Practice, yes, of
So
course.
second class, you don't need to teach. All you need to do is to practice. There are so many exercises, both from the workbook and from the textbook.
Wow, this is very... Actually, you know, when you are learning a language, songs is very important. We learn with songs. If you are the type that maybe forget a lot, we can sing. And I noticed that Mr. Paul, gave us some lesson by singing. So let's go and listen to one of the songs from this book. We'll be right back.
Je mange, tu manges, il mange, elle mange, nous mangeons, vous mangez, il mange, elle mange, je mange, tu manges, il mange, elle mange, je mange.
Okay, thank you for watching. And here we are again. I am with Mr. Paul Akpasi, the author of Le Français par cœur. Is a French book that is designed for students from GS1 to GS3. So if you want to learn French or you're a skill learner, don't forget Le Français par cœur is the right book. Okay, Mr. Paul, now I want you to tell us, just give us a summary of this in French language. Because aujourd'hui, on parle du français, n'est-ce pas?
Oui, c'est
D'un
ça.
livre que vous avez écrit dans la langue française. Et
Ok.
il y a des gens qui sont là, qui veulent, comprendre ce qu'on fait, parce que peut-être ils ne comprennent pas l'anglais. Donc, faites juste un résumé de ce livre-là en anglais.
Ok, le français par cœur, c'est un livre qui propose une structure d'apprentissage simple et claire.
OK.
Vous savez que nous sommes dans une ère de surinformation. C'est une bénédiction et une malédiction.
Wow.
Donc, on ne peut pas demander aux apprenants d'aller chercher des explications en ligne
Yeah.
parce qu'ils peuvent tomber sur des contenus
C'est ça.
trop avancés pour
C'est
leur
ça.
niveau.
Et c'est pas eux tous qui ont même accès à un téléphone portable.
Oui, c'est ça. C'est la raison pour laquelle la chaîne YouTube a été créée.
OK.
Donc, tout ce que les apprenants ont besoin sont disponibles comme leçons et chansons. Et à l'avenir, s'il y a d'autres informations, s'il y a peut-être des films courts et tous les ressources comme ça, tous seront là. Donc, ils peuvent facilement y accéder.
OK. When can someone get the book?
The book is currently available on Amazon.
Amazon.
Yes,
Okay.
and you can also currently the copies that we have now are for teachers.
Why?
So we are waiting for the next section for the book to be used fully in classes. So we are currently selling to teachers now so that they can also take their time to study the book and get used to the structure.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Thank you so much, Monsieur Paul Akpasi, for sharing your journey and this wonderful book with us. Le Français par cœur is a fantastic way to make learning French exciting for kids, even for adults. For those interested, the book is available on Amazon and you can get it from Mr. Paul also. He will give us his phone number and how you can get in touch with him. Be sure to grab a copy and start the adventure. And to everyone watching, thank you for being here. Keep exploring new languages, keep reading, and we will see you next time. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine.
Oui, merci, au revoir.
Merci, Monsieur Paul.
Merci
Au
beaucoup.
revoir.
Au revoir.